Oh, Netflix, how are we all? Good, good. Yeah, no, this is it. This is my last race. Yeah. Do I think I've been a success? Look, I think we didn't win any championships, so that's obviously disappointing. K-Mag should have won it last year, though, shouldn't he? Really, I did everything I could to give him a championship, so if anything, I've been a massive success. It's just everyone around me. Everybody else has let me down. Hi guys, I'm Aussie and welcome to a bittersweet moment, the final race of Kicking Haas. It's Abu Dhabi, and this is, it's bittersweet. 22 of 22 rounds, season 4, and we are sitting 4th in the in the Constructors' Championship. Now, I believe it's double points, so if we have a really good race, if Alpine have a nightmare, we might be able to catch them, but we would need to have a very, very good race, and I think they would essentially need to score nothing. I don't believe Mercedes can catch us no matter even if they come first and second and we score nothing. I still don't think they can catch us. So to beat them is a nice little feather in our cap, I think. Now the drivers, it is very, very close for third. Sargeant is currently, 13 points ahead of Sargeant. Gasly is 28 points back. And I don't think it would matter if Perez even won the race, he wouldn't be able to catch him. So it's a 3-horse race for third, in which Sargeant is currently leading. So fingers crossed he does manage to do that. Now, one thing, we're going to break FFP. Or whatever it is, the cost cap. It's not FFP in Formula 1, is it? But anyway, that is because we've been emergency manufacturing things and rushing things, trying to get upgrades onto the car. Now, what I didn't realize, we've got about 2 million left if we go to finances. I feel a little bit like I've mucked up the system here, but we've got 2 million. But what I didn't account for was everybody's salaries, engineers and all that kind of thing. So I thought we were okay. We still had 2 million left. But in actual fact, when you take out the wages for what for the time that the cost cap is going to cover, then we're actually going to apparently end up breaking it. So feels a little bit, not completely thrilled that we're doing that, but equally, we haven't put the best drivers in the car that we could either, have we? So maybe it just about works out. Now, one thing that we have done is final upgrade. We've got a new chassis. Now let's go and have a look here and see what this is going to do for us. So it moves us up medium speed and engine cooling. Why have I got 8 of those? No wonder we broke the cost cap. I built 8 chassis for one race. I'd be impressed if we damaged that many. So I don't think I did that. I certainly did it on purpose. Anyway, the other thing we did, was it side pods or suspension? I can't even remember what the other one we did. Now, it was side pods. And if we go and have a look what this is going to do to the car, makes us a little bit quicker in a straight line. So they are not. Why can't I? Oh, because you know what I've done? I've manufactured the other things twice. So we are definitely going to break FFP now. What an idiot! What an idiot! So, oh well. Oh well. There we go. So we've got through. Hopefully we don't need any more engines or anything, because that's going to then put us over the cost cap. Cost cap, not FFP. Anyway, we do have a development point for Crawford, so we'll stick that into, let's stick it into braking so he stops driving up the back of people. Frederick doesn't have, I'm very tempted to give Kalen Frederick an outing in FP1 just so that he's done something while we've had him in the car. I might even do that. Race engineer, that can go into pit crew management if we can get even faster pit stops. Excellent news for us. And that is pretty much that. What have we got coming up here? I'd be surprised if we got a wet race, and we don't indeed have a wet race in the desert. Magnussen last season with the lap record for qualifying purposes. Was it red sector 1? I've got it in my bearings. Yeah, red is sector 1, blue sector 2, and yellow is sector 3. We can see there it's got a little bit of everything. So yeah, hopefully that'll benefit our car. Who knows? Time considerations, we can see 100% chance of a safety car, so it'll save about 10 seconds off the pit stop. Worth doing. It's going to be a 2-stop race, maybe a 1-stop. We'll probably look to be aggressive on a 2-stop, I would think, depending how qualifying goes. Tyre degradation even is big, and the actual average lap time between the soft and the hard is only about half a second. So that's going to overlap. So soft tyres are essentially useless, aren't they? So we might even burn up some extra ones in free practice, I think. Last year, K-Mag was 8th. We've never really gone well here, I don't think, and Sargeant was 17th. Historically, we've never really done anything in terms of a win. And for this race weekend, our Q3 target, so we'll try and do each of those. So someone in the top 8, which would be very nice. Finishing position in the top 8 would be very nice. And We need to get someone in the top 10 in qualifying and the race to get that extra money. And I wonder if that comes back onto the cost cap. If we can. We really need that, don't we? Anyway, that's that. We're going to be doing a Red Bull here. It's all going. It's out of the catering budget. It's fine. Let's go to Abu Dhabi. So there we go. Confirmation of the weather. For one last time at Haas, I'm going to do free practice, and I will see you for qualifying. Okay, so we've done free practice, and it's not gone too bad. The FP1, I did put Kalen Frederick in the car just to see how he got on. He was fine. I mean, old parts in the car as well, but he wasn't too far off the pace of Sargeant, who has older parts in the car, so don't worry too much about the lap times. FP2, let's see if we go down here. We had Sargeant 18th, Crawford down there in 20th. And FP3, we put some of the newer, older parts in, if that makes any sense at all. Crawford 15th and Sargeant still down there in 20th. His gearbox, he only had one gearbox, and it's absolutely knackered. There was like 12%. He has 3 that were at 12%, so that is no doubt why he is so far down. But Crawford did okay, didn't he, up there in 15th? And you can see there are lots and lots of penalties as well. Now, of course, it's Sainz and it is Gasly that we're battling for 3rd in the drivers, so good to see Sainz is going to be dropping down the field a little bit. So let's have a look here and see what we're doing. Now, we want to put the newest of the new parts in here and make sure that we are getting this done. Now, I did save an extra set of mediums for the race. You can see his gearboxes are just all destroyed, so that is no doubt why he was as slow as he was in free practice. So yeah, we've saved extra only at 95 setup. Is that his highest? So let's go to the highest one. Yeah, didn't quite nail a setup with Crawford. We did though, crucially, with Sargeant. So he's got 100% setup. So that is good news for him. But yeah, so we'll see how we do here. Hopefully we won't need to come back for Q1. But usually with Crawford, we know that we do. So, absolutely fine we were. Crawford, we did do a second run with him just to be safe, but I think he was 9th or 10th on time after the first lap, so he was fairly much okay, so we sent him back out, and although the time doesn't look like it's a much of a gap, there was enough cars between him and the relegation zone, or the knockout zone, I should say, that it was never likely to happen. So, yeah, very, very pleased with that. Let's go to Q2. Oh, and I've just seen Leclerc has crashed out of qualifying as well, so that helps us trying to get into Q3. All right, so we are on board with Crawford. Sargeant is in front of us. Now, I think they both got held up by Albon on their first fast lap on a U set. So they're both on U sets now. We've got Crawford in 13th, Sargeant in 9th. Both have done a green first sector. How's everybody else doing here? Yeah, there's a lot of green on that tower there, isn't there? So let's hope that our green is better than their green, I suppose. Are we going to do green middle sectors? Yes for Sargeant and yes for Crawford. So that's all looking positive. There is, of course, a fairly big drop-off on the tyres we saw at the start there. So you should go faster on your second lap here on the fresh tyres. But Sargeant is 11th. We're both out. Sargeant crosses the line. He's in. Crawford crosses the line. He is 12th. So he's out. So Crawford elimination, he will start 12th. Sargeant, though, goes, and we've got both Ferraris with a penalty there as well. If we can get ahead of Russell and Magnussen, not a huge gap there, we could be on for a front row start for our final race. All right, so here we go. Now, unfortunately, we didn't get out last on track. We are currently 10th. That was on a U set of tyres. So let's see what we can do here. Verstappen is behind us. Now, he's unlikely. He's unlikely to make much difference to what we do. He will beat us. I would imagine. I don't think we'll beat his first time. But anyway, we've done a green first sector here. We do have one of the Alpines. I think it was Ocon it said was in front of us. I could be mistaken by that. Let's see if we can do a green middle sector. We can. So Bottas has not gone quick up. Ocon in front is going a little quicker, but not too much. And there we go. Checkered flag is out. Let's see if we want to get us high up this grid to try and take advantage of other people's penalties. Here we go, crossing the line, and we will go 3rd. It's going to be the front row for Sargeant because Perez has a penalty. So magnificent stuff from Logan Sargeant. Only just off getting the front row sort of by merit, but very, very pleased with that. What a way to start the final race. Okay, so let's have a look at our strategy options here. The one stop is, it's very marginal. It's very, very marginal. Now, I did save a set of mediums. So I wonder if what we could do here is, if we were to push the hard tyre, which I think is maybe even the better race tyre of all of them, try and maybe come in a little bit sooner, do a real push stint, and then come in for mediums at the end. We wouldn't quite be able to push them the whole way, but we'd certainly have a little bit of rubber in the bank if we needed it. So I think I like that with Sargeant, considering that, you know, he's starting where he's starting. I do wonder with Crawford, because he is just outside, if maybe... I wonder if we... Does he have a... I think he has a new soft tyre. I wonder if we do that with Crawford, be a little bit racier with him. He can still do the push stint on the hard. It'll be more marginal, but we'll see if he can sort of come through at the end. And if it needs to, we can obviously put a medium tyre on him as well, because I did, for once, do a decent job in free practice. We've got 2 new sets of mediums, a new set of softs for him, and a new hard as well. So we'll use up those in the race. And Sargeant, he's got a new soft if we need it, with a safety car later on, but also 2 new sets of mediums and a hard. So we're in a fairly good position on that front. We will not push the fuel, we will push the ERS to start. And for one last time, let's go kick some Haas. Okay, welcome back. Look at that Sargeant aggressively pointing his car at Verstappen as well. Reminder, double points. It's stupid, I know, but it's what we have. And let's see if we can go and put a move on Verstappen and lead the first lap here. Now, what we really want to do is try and just stay with him. It looks like we're fairly safe in second for now. Crawford's got himself up to 10th. So that is a very, very... He's up to 9th now. Jack Crawford, go on. He's on fire at the start. Now, everybody else's tyres, there's a lot of softs and there's mediums. As Crawford's got Zoe, so that's gone back and forth a little bit. So I'm surprised to see so many softs, given that it's not a great tyre. As Sargeant takes the lead of the race. Well, there we go. Let's save his Ers. There's no point burning that if we're in front, because I don't think we're going to drive away from Verstappen. Or could we? No, let's save it. I think that we want to save our Ers for later in the race. I don't think we're going to get a second on him, which means he'll just DRS back up to the back of us. So I think it makes sense to save it for now. And of course we will still have it later on, as he does indeed go past us. But of course, we got, look at that, we're a little bit faster in a straight line than the Red Bull. But that's okay. That's okay, because we're going to have DRS. We'll be able to, as Crawford's moved up another place into 8th, as he goes past Lando Norris. He's got his eyes set on Gasly. Now Gasly, of course, is who we are fighting with Sargeant to try and get 3rd in the drivers. As Crawford puts a good move on Norris. Really good move. Well done. And yeah, so this is good. DRS even is now open, and we're in a good position. 2nd for Sargeant, and Crawford up from 12th currently sits 8th. So we are just seeing Crawford drive past Gasly, which is very, very nice. Now I wonder if we can try and deploy away here and catch up to the lead battle, which is currently just dropping off the back of it. But Sargeant, K-Mag and Verstappen are sort of DRSing past each other. So we've been back to 3rd. We're currently sitting top, as you can see. Not too concerned about exactly where he's sitting in the order, to be honest, as long as he's in that lead group for now. What we do want to try and do is see if we can get Crawford up to the back of it, so he can just sit there as well. We do have a little bit of tyre life to play with. I'm always a little bit scared, as we know, to tell them, especially Crawford, to push on in case we get a mistake out of him. But he's not broken clear of the DRS. We are pulling in a little bit, it looks like, as Verstappen gets Sargeant on DRS. There's his battery empty. So I don't think that has exactly worked as we would have liked, but he's up 6 places in 8 laps, is Crawford. He's absolutely flying. Alright, we are entering our pit window, and soft-tired runners are currently coming into the pits. So we can see that there. So Crawford moves up to 5th on the back of that. Sargeant is still sitting there with Verstappen. Magnussen's just got into the pits. So if we've got a little bit of extra tyre life to play with here, is it worth playing with it, I wonder? It certainly is with Crawford. No, because he's more marginal, isn't he? Because he's going a little bit longer. So yeah, I mean, it is going well. We're at least got the pace of Verstappen. Now, whether DRS is playing a role in that, and if it was sort of both cars in free air, it might not work out quite that well for us. but he's certainly not pulling away from us, which is excellent. And Crawford there in 6th. He's not able to pull away from the McLarens, but they're not able to pull away from him either. So he's doing a really, really good job for now. And of course, he's got a soft tyre to come later on in the race. So, yeah, I mean, last race was brilliant. This race, if we can do it in a sort of a dry race where there's no sort of mixed up conditions and everything is just based on pace, then that would be very, very special indeed. But yeah, long way to go yet. Alright, so we have Sargeant coming into the pits. So he's going to obviously lose out on that front 4. Magnussen was the car that was in that lead group till he pitted. He's currently 11th. So if we can get out ahead of him, then we've done a decent job. I'd say he is the first of the cars that have pit. We're going to go over, under, and we're going to come out just behind. Now this is our hard tyre, and this is where we can push. And I'm thinking, let's deploy as well. We've got it in the bank. Let's use it. Let's try and not just clear K-Mag, but try and see if we can get ourselves coming out ahead, even breaking the DRS to Verstappen while we have a tyre advantage over him. So that's what we're going to try and do here. And hopefully it's going to work out. I don't know what lap Verstappen is pitting. Is he coming in this lap? Doesn't look like it. Now I think we were coming in a little bit sooner, weren't we, to try and get a bit of an undercut. So that is good. I think everybody else will be coming in more around the Jack Crawford time, as he has now moved up to 4th as Stroll. Why is he so far up? Stroll and Norris coming to the pits. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 1. It is neither of our cars. But we're actually about to catch the back of Crawford here. That's Magnussen running wide, trying to keep up with us, no doubt. So yeah, that is very good. The fact that we're about to catch the back of Crawford means we're absolutely flying. Pit stop ahead. And given that we're going to find ourselves in a little bit of traffic here, I think we might save that. Albon comes in. Now this will give us an idea too. We're only 14 seconds off the lead. It's a 24-second pit stop. So that's absolutely fine. We are going to come out well ahead of that lead group. It's Crawford's optimal stop lap, so he can come in for his hard tyre. That is fine.
You're doing very good.
And I wonder if we want to... We might as well... Because is he aggressive on the hard? I think he is, isn't he? I think that was the strategy. So, and if not, we'll stick him on a medium, so it's fine. But, yeah. We want to, ideally, I think, try and get moves done here if we can. There's one. Crawford. I'm not going to move him out of the way because it should be fine. There we go. One. Oh, Gasly with a bit of a chop. Oh, we don't need you going 3 wide there, guys. Jesus. It's fine. It worked out. It's worked out. It's fine. But Sargeant is going to be in the lead of this race. The only spanner in the works could be a Verstappen 1 stop. But... I mean, we're catching him so quickly, surely it's not going to matter. Now, can we outstop the Alpine boys? I would imagine not. And we're going to have to wait as well as he goes past. Yeah. Oh, and we've lost out to Aston Martin as well. So that's a pain on the backside, isn't it? So, Sargeant, with a pit stop done, is currently 2nd. He is... Verstappen's going to have to stop soon. We're going to be about 12 seconds in front. And we are lapping about 0.7 of a second faster than him right now. The problem is going to be if Verstappen is 1 stopping, and you would suggest at this point that he is. So we're going to have to make an extra stop. But equally, we're going to have so much better tyres than him. So, this is a very interesting race. Crawford down there in 17th. He might need to look to use a little bit of the old Urs here to get his way through. I think he's finding himself stuck behind some of those soft tyre runners that came in early. So that's not ideal. Yeah, hopefully he can cut his way through here. It looks as though there is a little gaggle of cars all the way up to Norris even. So, yeah, well, we'll see what he can do. He needs to cut his way through this quickly, though, to get himself back into contention for big points. But Sargeant is currently leading the Grand Prix, 3 seconds ahead of Magnussen. And what's the gap back to? 6 seconds back to Verstappen. I thought that might be bigger. Hopefully Max gets held up there. So Crawford is making his way through. He's just got past Esteban Ocon. Nice move at the end of that second DRS zone for him. The issue he has, as you can see there, it's a little bit of a DRS train, but he is working his way through it. Oh, we have a safety car. This is too early, I think. Not sure what has happened as of yet. We're 7 laps from our window. A medium is a medium going to get there? We'll go to strategy view here. Let's have a look. The medium, no, it's too early. Yeah, there's nothing we can do. It's too early. We have to stay out. And we'll just conserve everything. And yeah, hopefully we can build a gap. That's a shame, because if we look at the mini-map here, can I go to this one maybe? Sargeant's there. Look at the gap. We had Stroll holding up a whole bunch of cars. The worst we were going to do was coming out into 7th, and Verstappen was held up behind a few other cars there as well. So, yeah, that is not a well-timed safety car for Sargeant especially. And the cause of the safety car was Sebastian Vettel forgetting to stop. And that looked like it might have hurt. Okay, so safety car is ending, and we have Sargeant in front. We are deploying, we are pushing, we are trying to break the DRS back to Magnussen in these first 2 laps. Yeah, I think we'll extend this stint as long as we can now, because we've saved a little bit of tyre life those 2 or 3 laps. So, yeah, and then Crawford is, we've got him on overtake. He can't quite get a move done, as opposed to deploy, because we're just trying to get Sargeant up the road out of DRS, if we can help it. If Verstappen is only going to be, we're not going to have to make another stop, that's really hurt us, obviously, because it's closed up the gap that we had, though the gap wasn't huge, to be fair. So, we're also going to come out having stopped into traffic as well. We've lost that gap, as I said, so it's not been ideal, that safety car, I don't think. But safety cars breed safety cars, so who knows? Maybe we'll get that come back to us a little bit further down the line. The gap back is getting towards a 2nd though, so we might be able to get away with this to a point.
DRS is currently
if we don't have to worry about everybody else being in our DRS zone. It's right on the precipice. But I think by the time we come around, I was getting back into close to a 2nd. I think we're going to be okay here, though. Yeah, we're out over a 2nd. It should be fine. And we've burnt through the battery with Crawford. He is still there in 12th as well. Silly safety cars. So, as you can see, we were not able to break the DRS effectively. Magnussen is currently leading the race, which is fine. It doesn't really matter. What I'm really concerned about here, though, is Verstappen sitting there in 4th. If he's going to go to the end, then that's going to hurt us. There's no way around that. There are cars coming in, putting on the medium tyres, though. So, yeah, well, we'll see. I think we're supposed to come in this lap, aren't we? So let's go and do that. Stick on the medium. And yeah, Crawford's a couple of laps down the road before he needs to come in. Let's go and have a look at the stop with Sargeant and see where it does bring us out. Are we going to be ahead of K-Mag? It doesn't look like we are. No, we're back behind Kevin Magnussen. So that is... yeah, I mean, it's not ideal. We've had some luck with safety cars, but I think this one is working against us right now. Alright, so we have Jack Crawford about to dive into the pits from 5th. Sargeant has set the fastest lap. He is currently in 10th. He'll move up to 9th, obviously, with Crawford in the pits. If we could get another safety car now and close everybody back up again, then it might start to come back to us a little bit. Crawford's down there in 17th now. It's not what we needed. You know, we really did need the gaps that we, for the 2-stop to work over 1-stoppers. So we'll see. Double points. Gasly in 4th. That's a problem, isn't it? Sargeant needs to get himself up this order, or else he is not going to be finishing 3rd in this Drivers' Championship. And he needs to start by getting past... who's this? Bottas. If they're 1-stopping to the end, their tyres are going to be quite dead, aren't they? So it might work out. What's the lap times? We're doing 27s. Oh, safety car! Alright, well, this does make things different. And I think...
Safety car.
How much... If we were to put Sargeant, you'll come out in 17th. No, I think we'll stay on the medium. I think we'll stay on the medium. But what this does, of course, is closes up those gaps back in our favour. And I'm not sure, again, what has happened.
Sounds like there's been a crash.
Stroll. Of course it's Stroll. It's always Stroll.
Let's have a look. It's Lance Stroll.
Has he taken one of the McLarens with him? No, he's just decided to go for a Stroll. No pun intended. Oh, so, okay, so the one-stoppers are now stopping. So that has somewhat ruined that. And they're onto soft tyres. So we're 4th and 14th. Alright, so here we go. Green flag is flying. It's Magnussen ahead of Verstappen and Perez on softs. And then us on the medium tyre. Crawford is back there on a soft. We'll stick him on deploy. He needs to get his moves done early on while he has still has that tyre advantage, I think. So we'll keep half an eye on him. But this is definitely where our battle is. Gasly is now down there in 11th. Sainz in 7th. So in the battle for 3rd, Sargeant is currently winning that. And that is the, I guess, the main thing. Obviously, it'd be very nice to get a very good finish, as high as we can get to finish the season off. But yeah, as long as we're getting 3rd in the drivers, I think that is the main goal for now, isn't it? So we battle on here. Do we use a little bit of deploy here? I wonder. We're not really in danger of losing the back of them. Let's do it though. Let's see if we can get some moves done. If they are on a soft tyre, ideally, we probably want to try and be ahead of them, don't we? Now, what we don't need is for Verstappen to get past Magnussen and start driving off into the distance. Whoa, look at this! Look at this! 3 wide through the first chicane, and it is absolute chaos for the lead of this race. Perez and Verstappen have got past Magnussen, so we now need to get that move done as soon as possible. We cannot afford to let them drive away from us here, but 3 wide, that was that was something, wasn't it? Come on. Not that many laps to go. Perez has taken the fastest lap, which was briefly belonging to Crawford. Their tyres are going to degrade. They're not degrading as quickly as I'd like, to be honest. Can we get a move on K-Mag? We really do need to get this done. It's going to be 3 wide again. It's 2 by 2 through there. And we just can't quite get it, can we? Multiple cars have crashed. Is that going to be another safety car? It's yellow flags for now. And it doesn't look like it is a safety car. What has happened?
Take a closer look. Right, watch this.
So it's right at the back. It's Tsunoda and Mick Schumacher. And to be honest, the race is probably a better place for that having happened. So we will focus back up front. His battery is now empty. We'll go back onto Harvest to see if we can refire and go again. Yeah, you get the feeling it might be an opportunistic move if it happens. We'll go to neutral, actually. We need to make sure that we're staying with them. There's going to be about 5 laps to go. Can we knock K-Mag off the podium? Can we get the Ferraris and Verstappen? I'll come back for the final few laps. Crawford is 12th. Alright, so we come back for the final 2 laps of kicking Haas. We are that far away from the lead of the race. I just don't see where this is going to happen. We're pushing the tyres as much as we dare. Let's try deploy. We just can't. We just don't have enough. We're not quite quick enough, truth be told. Oh, wait a second. We put a dive bomb on K-Mag and we have got up to 3rd. Alright. Can we now go and get another position at the end of this straight? Not quite. We'll keep deploying as much as we can. We should get another dose at the low fuel range. No, that's fine. That'll come back. I'm fairly confident that'll come back. Crawford is still 12th. He's got the same problem, just in a DRS train. Not able to get any moves done. We'll stick him up onto being more aggressive. Last lap. Here we go. Last lap of kicking Haas. We are currently third. Perez and Verstappen are in front of us. His battery is empty. He should get one last dose into here, and that should get us up these 2 DRS zones. Do we have enough to go and get a move done? We're closing, we're closing, we're closing. And are we going to be able to put a move on? No, there's a lap car up here. That's going to possibly give everybody DRS and hurt us. It's not going to happen, is it? Can we go up the inside of Verstappen? Any chance? Not at all. Let's really attack and see if there's a way. Is Mick going to help us out? No, in fact, he's just made that a whole lot worse for us, hasn't he? Tyres are overheating. That's because you're pushing them. So it is going to be a 3rd place finish for Logan Sargeant, not just in the race, but in the Drivers' Championship as well. And Crawford, unfortunately, can't pick up any points. He comes in 12th. So it wasn't a win, but it was a podium, and I think we will just about take that, won't we? So 30 points, and that's really going to hurt Crawford, I think, because the guys that are sort of down the bottom of those points there are the people around him in the championship. But there we go, Logan Sargeant finishes 3rd. It's as good as K-Mag ever managed, of course. So well done to him. And the constructors, we did indeed fall short of catching Alpine. We could have got them, couldn't we? If we'd had if we got, like we had in Brazil, a really, really good result, we could have got them. But 4th, again, I don't think we ever not finished 4th. We'll check all that in a moment, actually. But considering the drivers and all things told, I think that's a pretty good result this year. We did beat Mercedes as well. So here we go, the final results for the championship. Sargeant in 3rd. I'm just really happy for him. He's 100% deserved that. And Crawford, in the end, didn't quite make the top 12. He lost out to that right at the end. But 13th for him, 43 points. That's not bad, is it? Not bad for your first season in Formula 1. Now, let's have a look at the series. Let's look back. So this is our profile, our time as team principal at Haas. 4 seasons, a best finish of 4th, which we achieved every year, 2023, 24, and 25. Our best drivers of 3rd, which K-Mag did 23, 24, and Sargeant in 25. So 88 races, 10 wins. Not bad. Not quite 1 in 9. 31 podiums in the end, so very nicely done. We scored 1,120 points, and season 1, all the way back there, we had 2 podiums and 130 points. 2nd season, 320 points, 3 wins, 2 poles, and 7 podiums. Last season was the year we should have won the Drivers' Championship with Magnussen. 368 points, 4 wins, no poles, and 14 podiums. And then this year, 302 points. So it's, in fact, our 2nd worst season. But given the drivers we had, everything else, it's probably the one I'm most proud of, to be honest. 3 wins, 8 podiums, and yeah, just very, very well done. Guys, if you've made it this far, thank you so much. I really hope you've enjoyed it. We will be back, now not straight away, with the new Formula 1 manager. I'm going to Canada, if you're not aware, so I will be back towards the end of August, and we'll start the new Formula 1 manager then, so I hope you all come back for that. I haven't decided exactly what I'm doing yet. I sort of have 3 ideas that have been floated, so if you want to have any sort of vote on this, then let me know in the comments. I'm thinking, number 1, an all-Italian Ferrari, which means, of course, instantly ditching Leclerc and Sainz, and we'd have to get in Giovinazzi and find another Italian that can drive a Formula 1 car. So I think that'd be fun. The other one is McLaren. Now, Bruce McLaren, who founded McLaren, was a Kiwi. So McLaren using only New Zealand and maybe Australian drivers if we can't quite find enough Kiwi drivers. I think a lot of them have moved on to Formula E and whatnot now. So sort of an Australasian, maybe, McLaren series. And the other one, I mean, the obvious one is Williams, and then we could have some sort of driver limitation on that as well, so we can't just go out and get the best drivers and win. Because I think this has been a lot of fun, not being able to go out and just hire the best drivers. So, yeah, if you have a thought on those 3, let me know. For all Italian Ferrari, New Zealand, Australian, McLaren, or a Williams with some sort of driver restriction. Otherwise, again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you for a Formula 1 Manager 23 towards the end of August. Take care.